So if your area is anything like we are here in Southwest Ohio, we actually haven't been that warm. We're getting ready to have a couple of hotter days here next couple of days, but then it's going to be down about 80 or so below again. Cooler weather at night, damp, really damp. And while it sounds great, it's also a recipe for some tiny little unseen demons that can really cause a problem for your chickens. Right, come on kids, let's go. You ready? Let's roll. So we like to let them out in the yard every evening. They get out here, get some fresh grass, running around, stretch their legs, have some freedom. That's wonderful, right? It is great until you realize, well, not until you realize, hang on, it is great, but you also have to understand that there's parasites in the ground, right? And you have to make sure you manage the parasite loads in these chickens. Like, they can consume, you know, all this good forage, you know, and get and have fun and peck around on the ground, and like this one's done over here, and put her head through the net and try to get to over there and try to eat cherries like that one's over there doing. And that's all great, but they can still get a hold of parasites out in this grass and the soil if you don't, and it can cause problems if you don't manage it right. Truthfully, one thing we do the most is just dust some DE, diatomaceous earth is what it stands for. DE is what everybody's gonna call it for short. But just use some diatomaceous earth. Good, food grade, quality diatomaceous earth. We go to diatomaceousearth.com and buy our diatomaceous earth there. It's very simple. And when I say dust in their feed, just dust. I mean, nothing crazy, just not even enough to necessarily see in their food. Okay, just dust some in, mix it in really good, and then give it to them in that way. Okay, that's how we manage the gut parasites on these chickens. I mean, parasites in general are a problem, and we use diatomaceous earth in our garden for bugs, right? We'll dust beans or peas or whatever needs to be dusted with it if there's some small bugs like eating on the leaves or whatnot. We'll do that, and it takes care of it. Honestly, it really does. Now, next thing is when you're using it on your garden, the rain's gonna wash it off, right? Now in the feed, hopefully the rain doesn't wash off in your feed, right? Your feed shouldn't be out in the water, but that's just reality. that there's possible parasites wherever you are, especially the cooler and damper the ground is, the more likely you are to have parasites. Okay, I know a lot of times I say, like, first thing in the morning, it's easier for them to get parasites in their gut than it is later in the day. Later in the day, the sun's kind of forced them all away or something. Like the dew and the coolness of the ground will have a lot of influence in the amount of parasites they can get in the mornings. And you won't get that so much in the evenings. But it's not just those, it's also like parasites on their skin, right? There's two major parasites. There's several parasites, by the way. They can get lice and fleas and everything else. Hopefully you don't have that issue. Okay, but there's two kinds of mites. Okay, two kinds of mites that really can cause a problem for their skin, and thus really stress them out. Girls having fun out here? What about you, Naomi? You doing good? Look at that. Okay, run from the camera. What about you, Maggie? What about you, Sophia? You non-egg laying chicken, you? Beautiful though. You have bird mites or red mites. Okay, red mites, hopefully you don't have that. It is possible to get them. Hopefully you don't get them, because really truly the way you prevent red mites is keep your coop clean. Okay, that's the best way. But also solid floor in your coop really helps. If you have a solid floor in your coop like we do, it really helps eliminate some of these problems. Okay, but the other one is bird mites. Bird mites can just happen because they're from birds. They're not near as harmful as red mites. Red mites are very small red mites that will suck their blood dry if they get to that bad. Okay, but it could cause them to be anemic, and so therefore they would be lethargic and certainly would stop laying. And the truth about bird mites is that they can come in if you get bedding that's been like a Tractor Supply, they keep the pine shavings outside. Birds can get on top of the pine shavings, and they can get in your bedding there. They can just happen, and again, they'll get in there on their skin and really cause the problems. And you can notice if you have them, like if you see excessive preening, like they're really kind of digging around inside their feathers a lot more, and just preening themselves a little too much maybe. And you can also check on their body themselves. Just you can lift up their wings, check under the wings down all the way down to the skin. Okay, get all the way down to the skin in their feathers there, and check under their wings and around their vent. Sadly enough, but like hot spots on them and that sort of thing. You'll see mites down in there if they have any issues. Now, another way to prevent these things also, again, a clean coop helps with red mites, but dusting your coop with diatomaceous earth. Truthfully, that's what we do as well. That really takes care of the issues. Like when we clean the coop, we're going to go in there, we'll throw diatomaceous earth down like in the pine shavings and mix it all in real good, and that'll take care of it as well. Now, if you think your chickens have mites, if you see some on them or you're afraid of that, you can dust your roost bars with them. Okay, wherever they're roosting at, dust the roost bars there with diatomaceous earth, and therefore when they sit down on the roost at night, the DE will be up in the warm spot on their body, because it's going to get really warm right there where they roost at, on their feet, under their bodies, and the mites will get in there. The DE will get on them and it'll kill them. Diatomaceous earth is good for that, killing small insects, so that's really good for that, and that will take care of your parasite issues, because again, they're unseen. You don't even realize they're there. You won't know it until you start seeing like egg production drop, excessive preening. If you got red mites, they'll start being lethargic, and maybe their combs will turn pale if they get really bad. So those types of things are, they can creep up on you. Then all of a sudden you got a problem before you ever knew it, and it's a major problem. Then like gut parasites, again, you don't want to, if it gets really bad, to crack an egg and see little like worms inside the egg yolk, right? Or inside the egg themselves. That would be horrible. So again, let's take care of these things first. Now, there are other products you can use to manage these things. I'm sure there's an antibiotic or some kind of medicinal drug type thing you can for parasites that you can put in their feed or water. But then you wouldn't like to worm them. Okay, you could worm them, but we don't use that. All right, because then if you worm them, you can't use their eggs for like 3 weeks. So we don't worm our chickens. This is the best way to help prevent parasites, is to just prevent it, right? Don't worry about it. And then some people use lime, like I think a thing called Saturday lime or Sunday lime, whatever it is. I forget the name of the product. To dust their coop in that instead of DE. It's just a little more harsh, I think. So we don't use that one either. We just use diatomaceous earth for all that, and it seems to take care of our problems. So again, don't let those little demons sneak up on you and cause you a bunch of problems. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.